Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today we're going to do some work with some of the similar tools that we used last time. We're just going to use them a little bit differently. So a kettlebell if you have one, or a heavy weight, not necessarily heavy, but a one arm weight, some dumbbells, and a step. And then we're also going to use a ball and a tube or a band. So gather those items and come back ready to work. Remember always to come into these workouts ready to move with a good warm-up and 5 to 10 minutes of walking or climbing your stairs or going around the block or using your cardio exercise equipment, that type of thing, so that you're ready to move when you come into these workouts. Okay, we are going to start with a one-arm row. So using one band or one tube, and mine is looped across each other. Depending on your situation, your band, your tubes, you can use two bands. If it's not quite strong enough, you can stand closer. If it's too strong, stand further back. If you need more, that type of thing, you can always kind of make a band work for you. Also, the slower you go and the more you control it, the more it's going to work as well. So there's different ways to do this. We could stagger your feet here and pull. I'm going to have you keep your feet about shoulder width apart, but facing your band, an athletic stance, so not a squat, but an athletic stance. So bending your knees, bending your hips, ready for movement, right? So we're going to use one arm and pull straight back. So you're going to drive your elbow towards the back of the room. 3, 4, 5, one at a time. And I want your torso and your hips and your shoulders to stay stable, facing that wall that you're pulling against. And this is also quite a good core activation, staying stable, because your body wants to twist. Your body wants to kind of help and twist. Resisting the twist is a really great way to work your core. All right, we're going to switch sides, adjust where you need to be. 2, keeping those shoulders down away from your ears, driving your elbows back, squeezing that one shoulder blade towards your spine, towards that other shoulder blade. 9 and 10, I think, unless I skipped one, we'll make that last one 10. Okay, good. So you're really working that core there, trying to stabilize as you pull back just one side. So it wants to twist. Your body wants to do this and help. Resisting that twist really calls in a lot of core here. Okay, now we're going to do step downs. So last time we did step ups, and this is a little bit more of a controlled movement here. And so you're going to pick up that weight if you want to use a weight. You don't have to use a weight. It's actually much harder with a weight. But what you're going to do is stand on the side of your step, just like this. And you can use, a sturdy railing, or you can do this near a kitchen counter or somewhere where you've got something sturdy to hang on to, because I want you to sit back and just barely step down. So this is a step down. Now notice that I'm sitting my hips back. I'm barely letting my foot touch the ground. I don't want to go forward like this, okay? I don't want my knee to go forward. So I really want to sit back, keeping my body's tall. 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a good balance as well. 10. So you're really having to balance just on that standing leg. Really works those quads. That eccentric motion, that downward motion is really the challenge here. So bring this back a little bit so it's on my mat evenly. All right, nice and tall. Barely sit back. Now, you can use that, whatever you're using, to help you stay stable, or like I like to bring my one arm forward to kind of help me stay balanced. 4, 5. If you're not using a weight, I will also demonstrate that. It's easier to sit back if you bring those arms forward. 6, barely touching your foot to the floor. You're not going to go down and then come back up. What I want you to do is control it, barely tap. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. So that eccentric motion, that slow and controlled motion, is a really powerful exercise for that one-sided quad and also your glutes and hip stabilizers, okay? All right. Now we're going to grab some weights and do some shoulder press. So remember, when you pick up your weights, to use proper form. I'm going to get these other things out of my way. Make sure that you always kind of clean up your equipment that you don't need anymore. You know, you might need it for the next round, and if you have a big enough space, then you can move around. But if you don't have a big enough space, make sure you're kind of moving things around so that you're not going to lose your balance and step on something inadvertently. All right, I'm picking up my dumbbells. We're going to do shoulder press. So we're going to start here. So as always, first of all, when you press a weight over your head, it can put pressure on your back. So if you have low back pain, do this one seated, either on a ball or on a chair or something like that. The other thing is, I'm going to have you do this. This is your balance challenge for the day. So we're either going to do it in a tandem stance or a staggered stance or a single leg stance, okay? So when you press your weights overhead, it also changes your center of balance. So be aware of that as you head into this one. I'm going to stand on one foot, press them overhead, 2, 3. Now, if this bothers your shoulders or your elbows, you can bring them in close. 4, 5. You can do it whichever way. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. The other thing is, if it's bothering your shoulders, you can also do a smaller range of motion. You don't have to push it so far overhead. Okay, good. Shoulder press. And then the next time through, alternate which foot is in front or which foot you're standing on, that type of thing, so that you're challenging both sides evenly. Okay, we're going to lower down to the floor and do mountain climbers. So we're going to do a plank. Again, you can do this on the countertop. You can do it on a chair, on the side of your bed, on a coffee table. You can put your hands up, elevated a little bit. It'll be a little bit more it'll be less challenging, a little bit easier. All right, so up into your plank, and we're going to drive one knee at a time up towards your nose. Now, you don't obviously need to touch your chin or touch your, anything. And I don't want you tucking. You're just bringing that knee forward. So I don't want you to tuck like this. I want you to just bring that knee forward. Don't touch your foot down in between. Keep breathing. Your hands should be directly beneath your shoulders. One more each side. All right, good. And then you can stretch back in child's pose, really stretch out those shoulders. Good, okay. Now we're going to grab a ball. So if you have a fit ball, if you don't, you could do this on the edge of your bed, but I think it would be challenging. If you don't have a ball, flip over on your back and do bridges, like we've done. I've shown you this in the past. So we're gonna do this one. All right, so it's working similar muscles. It's not exactly the same exercise, but it's something you can do to work your hips and your glutes if you don't have a ball. Okay, so I'm gonna have you grab the ball and roll forward onto it, hands on the ground, and you're just balancing on your hands. We're not gonna do a lot here, we're just balancing. We're gonna do a hip extension. So get where your hips are on top of the ball. You're going to lift each leg. But the other way, you know what, the other thing you could do is if you don't have a ball, do this, and we'll lift one leg at a time. So we'll do a hip extension that way. So that's what you can do here if you don't have a ball. Okay. Get your hips up on top of the ball, and you're going to need your weight forward just a little bit. You're going to bring those hips so that you're level with the rest of your body. That's 2, 3, 4, and just bring them down so they just touch. We're going to hold it for 3 to 5 seconds at the top, depending on how quickly you count. But hold it you want a good hold here at the top. Now, your knees are straight. Don't do this, because then you're not working your hips as much, you're working your hamstrings. And it's much easier. 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. The other thing is, if this really bothers your stomach or even your low back, then just do the ones on the floor like I explained the first time. So just one leg at a time. It's the same muscles. It's just a little bit different because it's not a ball. Okay, the last one, we're going to stay on the floor. And I have a balance disc to sit on, and I'm sure a lot of you don't have balance discs at home. That's fine. You could sit on a Bosu if you have one. You could sit just on a pillow. I think it's just easier if you have something to sit on, you know, like a throw pillow, that type of thing. So we're going to do windshield knees, or I should say windshield feet. It's sort of a different thought, but what your knees are actually going to stay in the center, and you're going to move your feet side to side like this, kind of like a, you know, like if you had one of those top down windshield washers or windshield wipers in your, you know, like a big truck, that type of thing. So you're sitting on top of your pillow or your Bosu, or you can even do this on the floor, it's okay. And then you're leaning back like this. So you're gonna pick up your feet and you're gonna tap them side to side. So you're like the top down windshield wipers in a big truck. 3, your knees are staying in the center. 5, oh, here comes Baloo. Hello, Baloo. Hi. 7, sit. 8, 9, 10, and 10. Good. Okay, hopefully you didn't just have a puppy come in and interrupt you and make that more challenging. Okay, that is it for today. So please, as always, let me know if you have any questions, if you need any alternatives to any of these exercises, and then remember too, you can cycle through these, do some cardio in between, make it a good full workout, and then stretch when you're finished. All right, thank you everybody. Keep moving.